Hey everyone, welcome to Breakout Wednesday for the 25th of September 2024. It's currently about 6:30 p.m. on the West Coast, 8:30 p.m. on the East Coast. First of all, remember, this is never financial advice, not financial advisor. This is simply a video blog on how one trader sees the market, and everyone needs to take responsibility for their own decisions. Okay, you charted the NASDAQ making new highs, so is the S&P, the S&P 500, and obviously the All Ords is not far off an all-time high. Okay, good market out there right now. I'm trying to make some hay while the sun shines. You never know what's happening tomorrow, so when the good trades are there, I'm going to bang them and keep doing it. Quickly, before I get into trades, there's this new indicator that's launching, probably be rolling out tonight. You'll be able to see it tomorrow. You go to volatility, RVM, relative volatility measure, and the reason this is coming in because I'm changing our Bollinger Band scans to be a lot better. Bollinger squeeze scan, I meant to say. Combining the RVM indicator with the Bollinger Band width indicator, which is found here, and combining that one other indicator, which I'm not going to mention, and coming up with an algorithm to just create a kick-ass Bollinger Band squeeze scan. Okay, it's probably a month or two to really nail that scan bit away. The basis of it, right, is RVM gets really low during a VCP. Okay, so for new traders, it's good to confirm a VCP with a really low RVM value. Okay, so obviously it turns green and the lines get super low. The other way to confirm it, obviously, is traditionally with a Bollinger Band squeeze. Okay, you can see this Bollinger Band is actually pretty weak there, aren't they? But you can still see them probably, and that's squeezing big time this MDR trade from a few months ago, and the RVM super low. So that's going to be rolling out, tomorrow. But then the Bollinger Band squeeze improvement is going to be happening over the next kind of few months. The other new thing is this tab here. Bang, click it and take you straight to the trading room. You don't have to open a new window anymore. You just click it. That'll be rolled out tomorrow as well. All right, now let's just get to some trades that I've been talking about recently. The PMN trade, my biggest in terms of size recently is I had my final profit target up here, another one here. I was going to get a little bit more off here, a little bit more off here. It didn't do that, so I've been stopped out just below the low of yesterday. Stopped out. So I'm actually out of that now. I just wanted to protect all that I'd earned. Okay, there's no such thing as easy money in the stock market, and I just protecting what I've got because you never know when the tide's going to come in and you're going to get stuck getting screwed. So I like banking stuff when I can, and PBM I've banked and I'm moving on, right? So I'll trade that again if it sets up. YUMC, I talked about this one like maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, then again last week, and then Sally in the trading room put up an amazing post that went into way more detail than I did, and it was a kick-ass post, and this thing broke out and then bang. Okay, so I'm out of half of this. On this big gap up, and I'm letting the rest run. If we can get another big move, I'll bail on the rest and just bank that into strength and move the hell on. What a setup, guys. I mean, this was below the 200-day moving average, which I did ignore. I talked about last week, and I was a bit nervous about that, but sometimes it pays off, especially when that pattern is that good. So moving on, the YUMC. Hope there's some more trades like that coming soon. HUM. What a move, guys. I mean, holy shit. Still got a little bit of it. Had another huge move yesterday, so we'll see how high that sucker can go. And the Tesla trade started pretty well. All right. So I just want to talk about a bunch of new setups, okay? Just quickly, I'm going to move pretty quick. Let's just go to STP. STP is one hell of a base. Had this perfect stage 1 base back here, a continuation base, a big uptrend, continuation pattern here, and then this mother of all bases. Now, this goes back to the kind of March big base. That's a weekly chart. Here's a monthly chart. Okay, it doesn't take, it's pretty easy to see this, right? If it breaks that, it's pretty significant. And last week I was kind of saying that I'd really like this to tighten. It's given us 3 days of tightening now. I've got an order in. That's enough for me. But if we can just if this hypothetically did tighten here in this little range here for 3, 4, 5 more days, then it suddenly comes from being a good setup to blow out good, And so STP, it's watching carefully and just looking at some of these discretionary stocks. There's a cost of living crisis going on and all that, but there's obviously a lot of discretionary stocks setting up, and so. Super Retail Group, likewise, like this isn't nearly as good, but if that can hypothetically go sideways for 5 days in this tiny little range here, a little volume, then I can get a little stop loss here, and I can kind of, you can see that easily making 2 to 1, 3 to 1, 4 to 1 on a good day. And if you could just, this is what trading's about, finding high probability setups where you can have this little tight range where I can whack a little stop in at a tight, really tight spot, close spot, and then, you know, it doesn't take a huge move is what I'm getting at to get 2 to 1, 3 to 1. And even if you win kind of 50% of your trades, if you're making 2 to 1, 3 to 1, do the math on it, you can, it's a license to print cash, and that's what trading's about, right? Just finding those amazing high probability setups with good risk reward. So, and and the other one, like Kogan, is setting up too. And I could talk about a bunch of the retailers, right? JB Hi-Fi, blah, 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 right? Which was probably leading everyone, wasn't it? But Kogan is not for me because it's been in this big downtrend and it's lagging. But, you know, that might end up being the best trade of them all, right? If it makes a big recovery and bang up here, a bit like what Hum did. But Hum wasn't lagging. Like in terms of the other alternative finance stocks, Hum was stronger than the others, right? Whereas Kogan's weaker, so I'm going to leave Kogan alone and concentrate on the others. But my point is that entire sector is looking good. Okay, another one that's come up in a resistance scan and a Darvis scan, I believe, and inside bar scans. It's just come up in a shitload of scans. Is Airtasker. Now Airtasker back here. Let me just show you this new indicator, right? So RVM. So obviously confirming a VCP here. And you know, I bet look, you don't really, obviously, you know, there's other ways to figure it out. Bollinger Band squeezes, that's a huge squeeze going on here. Can't really bloody see that band. Let's just change a color to say, you know, blue. It's always good. Okay, boom, right, massive squeeze going on, and there's another squeeze happening. Okay, isn't as good, this squeeze, but it's starting to get good. This had overhead supply here too, didn't it? Now it's got it. You know, Airtasker's, I've used Airtasker before, you know, I don't really know how the company's going, to be honest. I should probably look into that, and I probably will before taking that break. But this has a lot of promise. If that can just, I mean, it's not perfect. If that can just tighten a tiny bit more. See how tight this is? Like, it's just so damn tight. Look at the volume. Look at the volume on some of these bars here before the breakout. It's like tiny. And these are bigger candles. Like, see this candle, how tiny this candle is, and tiny, and this candle here, how tiny it is. Like, there's hardly any range here. If we can have a few just zero range candles where it just hardly even moves that day, like it just goes between, you know, you know, bid and offer, just bang, 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 really tight, then it will be, you know, incredibly good setup. So I won't talk too much about that, didn't I? Let's go to the next one. Yeah, this isn't ready yet, but WiseTech, it's like, the PME trade, right, it went up so high, I mean, I took it, and it already had this huge run, and WiseTech, like, I was talking about it when it was in this Darvis here, wasn't I, like, on Breakout Wednesday. We go back here and just find this, bang, okay, it was here, I was talking about it here, went high up, and now it's basing again, 100%, like, there's just nothing going to stop me taking that if that can base long enough, and I just want 15 days in there, usually 20, but for WiseTech it could be 15 or 10 to 15 even. It's not quite there yet. That needs to just stay in that tiny range for longer. And then this is a leader. Like, I'd say W2C and PME are like the biggest leaders in the ASX market. I might be missing something obvious, but they're the two that come to mind. And I'm always going to take Darvis trades in those two stocks because that's just the high I think it's the easiest money to be made in the stock market when you find the leaders and you concentrate on their signals. And the leaders change, right, from cycle to cycle. Nvidia led for ages, Amazon has had its time, it led for ages, Google led for ages, but leaders change, just like in sports. Certain teams dominate. The Pats were kings of the NFL for a long time, and now they're shit, right? So, you know, leaders change, and you figure out who the new leaders are and follow them, you know. What else was there to crap on about? There's SPRK. There's a bunch of these resource stocks. It's just, you know, there's obviously some shit going down in the world. It's nothing new, and but some stuff is getting worse. And there's some tensions pretty high. We'll be seeing referring to Lebanon and stuff, right? So I don't know what's going to happen. No one does, but you know, gold's a good place to be when there's total shit going down, and you know, it's good to do scans of gold stocks and look for the ones base in. And let's just look at here. Obviously, this came up in a Darvis scan. This has been in a lot of Darvis scans. I mean, this is kind of a bit of a leader, isn't it, in this sector? So I'm watching that for another move. And look, the REITs, I don't know if I've talked about the REITs. They're just kind of boring, a bit prejudiced against them, but they fly under the radar, don't they? You know, people, they're not sexy, all that shit. And I just think it's interesting to keep an eye on them, and I'm not going to be scared to just, you know, bank some money in some of them when you get the big trades. I mean, this isn't a long-term Darvis box yet, but if it can just base and tighten a bit, then yeah, for sure. There's a bunch of other REITs. I'm not going to talk about them all because they'll be here for a long time. Look, on the NASDAQ, I'm in Tesla, I'm in YUMC, I'm still in the Amazon trade. I got into NOC the other night. I don't know, maybe it's a bit too slow moving for me. I'm not sure if that was a right thing to do or not, but I'm not going to tie my money up on there too long. Either it goes or I'll be out of that for break even or small loss or whatever. There's some exciting shit, you know, basing in the biotech sector. Like, there's a lot of biotech stocks. Like, if you're doing your scans on Darvis boxes and stuff on there, and you're going to find so many biotechs which are looking a bit like this, right? Just basing and tightening and shit. You know, they're so risky to biotechs. Like, they're prone to fake outs. Like, fake out city. I'd say my success rate on them is 30%, right, which is very bad for me. But the 30% that I win, some of them I have blowout, like 10 to 1, 20 to 1 type things, right? And I'm not saying all of them are like that, but yeah, it's potential with biotech. Like, every now and then, you know, say 1 in 100, I'll just have a ridiculous move. But, you know, then 2 in 10, I'll have a decent move and blah, blah, blah. So there's a lot basing like this, okay? And it's about just keeping the bets small in them. You know, if you don't want to get pants quite often, right? The other one is just Deckers Corp. I've talked about this company before. This is just forming a triple top now. So ascending triangle, rising bottoms, watching this base out here. This is kind of a leader in many ways. And it's either forming a big head and shoulder top, all right? Okay, if you, you know, you can do the drawing yourself, but let's just do it really quickly. Then, you know, this is the kind of the shoulder. This is either forming a massive top, or this is basing on the right-hand side and tightening, and it's going to break out of there and give us a good move. So that's it. I mean, crapping on 12 minutes. Some good setups happening. Some good trades, some manage, and just trying to keep the losses small and just cut them ruthlessly. If I'm wrong, I'll just get out quick loss. It's a good loss. Cheers.